Hi. So I'll be working on this during the live today. It's the advent calendar background. Looks like I'm mostly by myself at the moment. Hopefully some more people will arrive eventually. I'm okay. Been enjoying the sunshine actually. It's really quite warm here and sunny, so I've been out in the sun, hence the sun hat. And I don't think you can really tell, but I'm like red across here. So how's everybody in the chat? So far it appears to be a lag. Yeah, I know there's usually a lag. It's 3 p.m. here and I'm in Scotland. And for my mum it would be the exact same time. So you're 1 hour ahead of us, Ursula, I think. I think I'm right. Hello, you as well from NY. That'd be New York, wouldn't it? I'm sure it is very hot. I don't know exactly what temperature it is here. I would say maybe about 15 C. Have you really? Scotland is a lovely place, I suppose. It's kind of cold and damp all the time, but yeah, it could be quite a nice place. Hi, good morning to you as well. I'm okay. Yes, Celsius. That's what I use. I think a lot of other people use Fahrenheit, like Americans and things. Not always, just a lot of the time. Like winter, autumn, and like half of spring maybe is kind of damp and not very warm. Yeah, we don't have any rain today. We are meant to have rain on Tuesday though, so I think I might be recording my usual weekly video a day ahead just to get the sun. Occasionally we do get snow. Not like a lot where I am, but we do sometimes get snow. And we did get a fair bit this year. Yeah, probably Americans. Yeah. I do actually have something that I'm going to talk about on here, which is this. It's going to be the last one of these that I open because I'm going to be trying some new things. 55 35 Fahrenheit in Georgia. I wonder what that's in Celsius. And 37 in New York. We're midway through spring. The last month of spring will be May, so we're mid-spring. It's not fall summer yet. I see. So you'll be heading into autumn. Do you even have autumn now? Hello, Froggy. So with this, as I was saying, it's the last magazine I'm going to be opening, and what I'm thinking of doing is trying out some boxes and things like that. They'll all be UK based ones, because there are a couple, and there's some that I haven't seen any other people opening on here, so I thought that would be fun. And I do apologize about the noise there now. That's the dog. She decided to leave the room and then come back to the room. Should probably get something to open this, because this is going to crinkle. I use US terms. I don't like UK terms. I think they're kind of annoying, because everything's a treble. And how are you supposed to remember which treble you're doing? Thank you. It's a very old hat, actually. This hat here is actually, well, was my great grandpa's hat, so it's over 40 years old. And I love wearing it. I am trying to open this without making too much noise. Yeah, so I've seen quite a few using the US terms as well. There are some people who say they like the UK terms. Not really sure why. Okay. So it comes with a hook. It's a polymer clay hook, and it's a 4mm. This looks really nice. I like the flower pattern on it. Nice thing to end on. Thank you. I like the fact people think it suits them. It's got some random like leaflety things in it. Some coupons for Hello Fresh and some other thing. So this is a nice hook, and I'm going to leave it in the packaging now, because I tend to take pictures of things before I open them. Simple crochet, what's the issue? Issue 109. So here's the front. So has anyone in the chat ever got a Simply Crochet magazine? I think the thing she's wearing on the front looks quite nice. Everyone always loved this wallpaper. I didn't think it was going to be that interesting when I put it up, but everyone seems to like it. Yeah, it is a pretty good magazine. I would say it's better than at least one other that I've tried. Yeah. So, going into it, firstly we have this picture, which is kind of funny to me. She's peeking over the curtain. Like, what did she do? Why is she peeking over the curtain? Okay, this is an odd one. It's roll power, putting a hat on a smoothie bowl. Yeah, I like the free things that come with it as well. The other magazine that I really like is Inside Crochet. That when you subscribe to them, you don't get the things with them. And the other one that I've tried was Crochet Now, and I don't really recommend Crochet Now because I've noticed in a lot of the ones that I've got there's been mistakes in the pattern. Oh, they're just not been great writing. Here's the first thing. I'm guessing it's a giraffe. First picture in here, it's a giraffe. Your survival. Right. To the section that's been put in here. Okay, I think we're on the patterns maybe that are in here. Back to this girl who was peeking over the curtain. She's got a top on. And I think in the next picture is maybe the bag she's holding that we're looking at. And then her hat. Not super into the hat, it's just kind of boring to me. A bucket hat, yeah. There's this bowl. Bowl's cute. Okay, so we're... Oh, the thing on our leg is also a pattern, apparently. Don't know what those things are called. It will be in here somewhere. Garter. There you go. And the random curtains. Who makes a half-length curtain? Okay. Okay, this is interesting. Cute. Funny little thing. It is a cat. It's cute. It's called Lovebug. I like its antennas. But I would probably do its antennas differently if I made it instead of using the pipe cleaners. This is interesting. It looks as if she's used some applique pen to decorate the bottom of her shirt. I wonder if there's a better picture in here. Be nice if there was. Yes, there is. Right. There's a better picture. It seems to be a couple of different flowers. There's a carnation, daisy, pink flower, a large flower bud, and a couple other ones. It's just nice. And we have a poncho. It looks like a hybrid between a jumper and a poncho. I'm not sure about that one. I think I'd rather just make a normal top or a normal poncho. I suppose somebody might like it. Silver lining. This is a shawl. pattern, and it's the one from the front that I was talking about. I do so like shawls, so this might be something I'd make. I don't think I'd add the tassels though. I'm not big into tassels. Got some articles. Tummy time. It's a little kitty's jumper. Oh, I think that's really cute. And I like the little button detail at the side, which does appear to be a way to close it, so it's not just a detail. And stars and stripes. We have a blanket and a pillow. Oh, no. I like star. That's cute. Still not into the whole pom-pom thing that I'm doing. Well, this is a neat idea. Houseplants. Got an issue growing some plants? Maybe you should try these. Okay. And the blanket was cute. It would have been nice if there was another picture of it. Well, one laying out so you could see it flat. Another article. River ripples. This appears to be an extremely thin vest-ish shape. Oh. It does look pretty, but it's just very, very thin. I wonder how big it's supposed to be. Does it say? Lace weight. Yeah, as I said, very, very thin. Yeah, I don't think it'd be something I'd make. Nice colours. Interesting pattern though. Another cushion. This one's not super interesting. There's not like a interesting pattern to it. It's just squares put together. Which is nice. But kind of boring. Yeah, I like all the colours as well. I don't know if I'll be starting anything in this soon because I've got so many on my list that it would be kind of silly. There's a cute cowl in here. There's an interesting pattern to it. It's called Edged Cowl. You have arm candy. Now this is cute. So it's a bag made up of squares. And it looks like they have lined it. Which I most likely wouldn't bother doing because I do not enjoy sewing. But it's there. Interesting. Continental cushion. I would just call it a very large cushion. That sounds interesting. There's this, which doesn't want to show its colours very well, but it's a dream catcher looking thing. You'd have to get hoops in the right size to make it. And then it's just the how-tos and their charts for that. Overall, I would say this was a decent issue. And this is what would have been camera. Oh, yeah. This is something that would have been in the next issue. So there was Peter Rabbit and Friends crochet book involved, and I'm not sure what she's wearing. It's either like a poncho or a wrap. It's kind of hard to tell from the picture. So that's what was in this issue, and I'm going to say my favourite thing in here was this bag, and the second one was the shawl. That one. So those are my two favourite things. It would be interesting to know what everybody's favourite things were in this magazine in the chat. Was it the plants, the shawl, the bag, something? So that's this issue and the last issue. I have ordered the first box that I'm going to be trying. So it should arrive sometime near the end of the month. And I'll obviously talk about more as we go on. And I have a couple of other boxes I want to look at. Yeah, ponchos are fun to make. I have made a few. So I made one for my sister, which is over there. It kind of is my own pattern, but I never wrote the pattern. Like, I made some other ponchos and then came up with that as I was going from learning different things. And it's only been about 20 minutes that I've been here. So I've still got well over half an hour of just sitting. I am so not used to long periods of time of talking. I don't know what to talk about. No, I think I'll move these off of the seat before they fall off. More about me? What is there to tell? What have I not said about myself before? Neither. Like I don't actually have a job, and I'm not studying anything. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to work on writing patterns to sell patterns, and I'm working on my channel. That's what I'm doing. What's on my hook? I have a lot of things on my hook. I have an amigurumi. I have an advent calendar. I technically have a blanket that I need to finish. My dress, obviously. And then I've got a lot of upcoming. Now that's a hard question. What's my favourite item to make? I like making almost anything. So I don't have a favourite. Like, amigurumi isn't my favourite. I do like making it more now, but it's not really my favourite. Like, I really like making shawls. I actually really like making advent calendars as well. Because this is the third one I've made. I see. So how old's your daughter? Just curious. So I'm actually 22, and I've done studying. I did do stuff. Although I didn't go to like a public school, I was home educated. And I did do a course at one point. but my main focus now is crocheting, my channel, and, well, trying to write paragraph. Which, actually, a pattern that I should be getting finished written up soon is going to be the peg bag that I made, because I got inspired by Katrina's Crochet World. I think that's how you say it. I kind of got inspired by her pattern and kind of made up my own pattern rather than following hers. I see. So she's a bit younger than I am then. My birthday's in January, very start of January. Yeah, that sounds like a fun thing for her to do, and she likes doing all those things. It'd be nice to see what amigurumi painting and stitch markers she makes. A lockdown originally is what got me to start my channel. Like, I'd kind of wanted to try making a channel when I was younger and never got around to it. And then over the start of lockdown, I kind of just started doing it because I felt like I had to do something, and I still wanted to be showing my crochet and what I was doing, but a lot of people don't always use Instagram, and so I thought maybe I should start YouTube. And I still do Instagram, although I haven't for a couple of weeks now because it's not working properly. That's cool. You like my yarn shelf? Yeah. It's a nice shelf and it's got lots of things. I've got G3 My Little Ponies up there, as well as my yarn and then my bunting. And you can't see it, but behind me there's a sign that side there. It says accessories. And then hanging from it are some Easter ornaments, a plant that I crocheted, and then here is a heart that Kim at Affordably Crafty made. I see. That's actually kind of interesting. She's not great at crochet, but she can do amigurumi. Whereas I found amigurumi quite fiddly to start with, especially. Yeah. And the other couple of reasons for doing a channel was I've been watching a lot of channels, big and small, that all were doing crochet, and I really enjoyed seeing what they were making and listening to them talk about it and showing boxes they'd subscribe to or magazines, and I wanted to do it as well. Yeah. That I find quite interesting, that she's so shy. I'm actually really shy in general. Like, I'm not as shy as I was when I was little, but when it came to being on camera, I guess it wasn't necessarily just down to being shy. It was kind of nervousness, and I didn't like being on camera. So if you see some of my first videos, I was quite uncomfortable, but trying to do it. And over time, I've gotten better at it. I'm still a bit funky on a live because it's a lot longer and I'm sitting here and it's not like I haven't got what I'm planned to do. Like I'm like, oh, I've worked on all these things this week and so this is what I talk about. Yeah, I found the community pretty welcoming. And I don't know, maybe I've made friends. Like I do talk to a lot of other channels. Chronically Crocheting is one I talk to quite a bit. Just because I get her, she gets me. Because we both have different conditions that we are living with. Thanks, Ursula. I am trying my best. And I've finished a row of this, and I'm starting a second row. I've actually got a lot of rows to do on this, and I'm starting to run low on yarn. So I don't know if I'm going to manage to finish this section with this ball or not. Hopefully it'll get me to the end. Yeah, like I talked to Kim and stuff, like because we did a swap. It's quite a while ago, but we did a swap, and I just kind of talk to mostly people through their comments. Like if I say something on their channel or they say something on my channel, that's where I usually chat to other channels. I see. Yeah, it might be a good thing for her to do. Yeah, when it comes to making friends on here, I think I have kind of made friends with some people. Oh, what am I working on? This is here. Just kind of looks like a rectangle. It is a advent calendar. It's this advent calendar here. So the section I'm working on is this bit down here, behind the pockets in the background. And I'm hoping to manage to finish the background piece behind the pockets with this colour. Because I only have one bowl. And if this is not enough, I'm going to have to order another bowl or do something else. I don't work on it super often either, and so it's kind of going up slowly. I am enjoying making it. And I have some other projects sitting around that I'm working on, because I'm making a bandana for my dog, which I really could just hurry up and finish, I just haven't. That sounds exciting, Ursula. Yeah, it is a really cool advent calendar. And actually, the section I'm working on is the free part. So the free part of the pattern is the background, and it comes with the little gifts, the palm trees and the hay that goes in his bed. But all the rest of the little pieces that go on the front, so like angels, all the different people, and the animals and the star, those are all in the paid for part of the pattern that I haven't got yet. The advent calendar is going to be for my sister, as the last two have been as well. I don't think I meant to do this, but since I've been crocheting and since I made my first advent calendar, I've kind of made an advent calendar each year. The first one was just little sacks. Then the second one was a C2C. And then this one is a nice little picture. Yeah. Your C2C, not your C2C, blah, my brain. Oh my gosh. Your temperature blanket, it's because I was just talking about C2C. Your temperature blanket is looking nice, actually. I remember seeing it on your live the other day. Or some video you made the other day that I can't remember. Hi to however you pronounce your name. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Consul, maybe? I'm not the best at pronunciations. What is your easiest project? Your go-to project when you want to relax? And yours obviously is Granny Squares. I think that kind of depends. Like I find quite a lot of different patterns easy to do. That's a hard question to answer. Like maybe a shawl or a hat or something. And I do enjoy making socks. They're fairly easy sometimes if I redo the same pattern. Fun swell. Okay. I will try and remember and say it like that. Have all of you made friends with, other channels on here, or have you kind of not done that? Hi. Ashira, maybe? I think that's how it's sort of meant when your project is gone and you're low on motivation. Most people have a project they call a go-to project. For me, it would be a granny square. Yeah, I've never really lost my Kojo or been low on motivation. Yeah, I never really had that problem, so I just kind of start whatever I fancy making. And a lot of the time, things I'm making are gifts for people. And obviously, I make some wearables, like the cardigan I have on. Interesting. I just pick up scraps and put them together. I don't use a color chart. I just kind of pick up whatever I want to use and put them together. I tend to be fairly good at picking colors and making it look good. Well, that was kind of you last year. Yeah, like with this project that I'm working on, I have a bunch of yarns picked out that I'm using. So this obviously is a kind of creamy colour. It's called Parchment. It's a Stylecraft yarn. I also have some yellow, which is by Woolcraft, and it's just a double knit DK plate. I also have some brown Stylecraft. I have this huge ball of blue sparkly stuff, which I couldn't tell you what it is. I have 3 different kind of different texture. It's kind of a velvety texture, these have. They're not all the same weight. I have this green stuff, which is really pretty. It's Boho Spirit Thick Knit. And this actually is going to be the grass for the background. Yeah, I suppose I have been fortunate that I've never had that problem. But I also haven't been crocheting for a very long time. Like, I've been crocheting for a couple of years, but not a very long time. Okay, do I buy my own yarn? Yes, kind of. My mum and we sometimes buy it together. And where do I buy it? That depends. Recently I've been really liking buying from the Lincoln Wool Pack, which is a nice site. I've gotten from Hobbycraft before. I like getting from Aldi's. It's a good place for yarn. I've had into smaller yarn shops. It really just depends what I'm looking for, how fast I need it, that kind of thing. Also, what on earth is an LYS? I'm a little bit unsure of what you're meaning by that. Now, when it comes to weight, I don't have a favourite as such. When it comes to yarn, I like most weights. I do find some of the super thin stuff or the super chunky stuff a little bit funky to use when you haven't used it for a while, but I'll use pretty much any yarn weight. DK tends to be the most common weight that I use due to the fact that it's the easiest for me to get a hold of. But I also use iron, 4-ply, heavier ones, and whatever else. Yeah, the spirit yarn is really pretty. It's a really pretty colour. What even is this colour? Eden. It's called Eden, which is a nice colour. I have been crocheting for a little over 3 years now, I think. Because I started crocheting, I think when I was 18. Yeah, 18. Wow. It was right at the end of the year in November, so not quite 4 years, more like 3. Yeah, my mum does give me cash to use, but I do sometimes get from things, like I have sold things that I've made in the past, and so I've gotten money that way. Oh, local yard shop. Okay, I'll have to try and remember that's what that means. You like DKD? I like it for some things. It's a bit thin for other things, but it's good for muscles. Hi Nancy, I need to catch up on the chat. Have you made many shawls? Do you like? I have made quite a lot of shawls, and I do like making them. I couldn't tell you exactly how many I've made, but there's 3 in this room that I've made, and there's another 2 in the next room that I've made that belong to my aunt. And then I've got a couple in a cupboard that are waiting to be sold. I see. I did wonder why you're asking that. Yeah, I think it depends on the person what they mean by a couple. It what I was meaning is it's not been a long time. It's been longer than 2, and it hasn't been like 10 or 5 yet. It's just under that. Yeah. What I've sold is just little random things. The last thing I sold was a blanket. It was a folk art blanket. It's really interesting what people mean by a few. You're meaning 3 or more. Yeah, I could check. I do have it written down somewhere exactly when I started crocheting, because I know it was in November. I know it was when I was 18, and I know it was before the end of the year, but off the top of my head, I can't remember the exact point. But I do have it written down somewhere. Interesting. Your favourite size hook is a 4, and you also like a 3.5 and a 3. Actually, when it comes to DK, I don't always use a small hook or a big hook, or even what it says on the label. I just use whatever I think works best. So for different things, I'll use different things. Like when I'm making granny squares and I'm using a DK weight yarn, I'm most often using a 5mm hook, but I will sometimes change it depending on what part I'm doing. Yeah, you do have a very warm climate there. Here it can get pretty cold in the winter, so having a thicker jumper is good. Actually, the cardigan I'm wearing right now, this here, is done with an iron weight mostly, and then a DK weight in between. It's hard to see on that side, it'll be easier on this side. Right, so most of this is from a variegated ball, and it's an iron weight, but these little bits I think they're in between the rows. Those are a DK. This is what's on my hook right now, which looks like a slightly curled up rectangle. It's not very interesting. It's the background for this advent calendar. So the part I'm working on is this background, and it's the pocket area I'm at. This is the free part of the pattern, but all the smaller pieces that you put up here go in the pockets are part of the paid for section of the pattern. I have made multiple blankets. I have done blankets that were done in long rows. I've done blankets that were made in squares. I've done blankets where you've patched different things together. Like I made a really huge blanket for, I suppose for a double bed, but it was a really huge, massive blanket for my uncle. And it was made of all sorts of different squares. So I had some really little squares, and then I had some really huge squares, and then I filled in the space that wasn't filled by doing a granny shell stitch, and then I did some edging, which I can't remember what the edging was. That was quite a while ago that I made that. I actually have two blankets in here just sitting on the bed that I've made, and I've got two in the room across from me that I've made as well, which are my sisters. Thank you. I'm thinking I will buy the paid for pattern just because that's what I'd like to do. But I could probably freehand because I've done that before. I just thought it would be nice to buy the pattern. It was colours he chose, but it was still many colours. It was greens, blues, yellows, grey. I think that's all the colours. He actually bought the yarn for the blanket in one big lot, and it did come with some other colours. It came with pink, the lot that he bought. It came with some pink and some purple, I think it was. And so I just used the green, the blue, the yellow, and the greys for his, and kept the pinks and purples for me to use, which I think I've used them all up there. Oh, and I used white in this blanket as well. The one hanging on the wall. That we're talking about that there. That is yarn. Yes, it is nice that we got the yarn. So I'm guessing this is the container you were talking about. This container is for all my sock yarns. It is great that you got the yarn. Yeah, it is nice having a portfolio. So this is all sock yarn in here. We have these two solid colours, which are truly wool rich 4-ply sock yarns. This is wool and polymid. I have a ball of Roma Fusion, which is also a sock yarn, which is really pretty. I can't wait to make a pair of socks out of this. I have a signature one, which I'm pretty sure was a robin colorway. Don't know if the colorway is on here. No, I can't see it, but yes, this I think was called the robin colorway. That's another sock yarn. I also have these two balls. Oh, this is also a sock yarn. Don't know if it has a colorway. It just has a number. But it's also a sock yarn. And then right at the bottom, I lift it up, is scraps of sock yarn from previous socks that I've made. So this baskety thing is actually something I received in a swap before I started my channel with just somebody I knew. And yeah, so this is just some sock yarn. I actually have some sock yarn here on my cart because I have a set of socks that I'm going to start soon. And that's what it looks like. It's a little bit hard to tell in the lighting, but it's blue, then sort of greenish colour, pink, and then purple. Yeah, you love the multicolours. Yeah, I love multicoloured yarn as well and use them for things. Need to go on. I don't know if it's called the box stitch. When I made it, it was a pattern that said it was inline granny stitch or something like that. Yeah, they do have things that I'm planning to do with them, these sock yarns. Like this robin one that I was showing already. This with the red, I was planning to make some Christmas socks for myself. I just haven't got around to it yet. Yeah, I have seen some people do that as well. I don't think it would be something I would do because what I've done with yarn scraps that were sock weight is just made scrappy socks. Because scrappy socks are fun and colourful. Yeah, it's a really pretty colour. So I'm about at time now because I'm doing about an hour live because for me that's a doable length of time where I kind of need a break. But it's been fun talking once I got into the swing of things again. I will be trying to do lives every other Saturday going forwards, so hopefully I'll get better at time. Yeah, it might be called that. The one that I followed when I was making this cardigan was Inline Vibes 60s, I think, cardigan. I do have the pattern somewhere, but I can't remember where. And the pattern that I was using, as I've been saying, it wasn't a proper pattern, it was more of a guide to make a hexagon, and then I used that guide and made from it, because like the sleeve I came up with, and like making it wider and stuff, I came up with that myself. Thank you. I was just doing my best. And yeah, I suppose it will help my watch hours. I hadn't really thought about it that way. Yeah, I will try and remember to do that. Yeah, hopefully I will have a super afternoon. And yes, it did fly by. So thanks to everyone for coming along and chatting with me and seeing what I've got. And I'll see you in the next one.